Greetings on International Women's Day 2024. I just love International Women's Day theme this year. Count her in. Accelerating gender equality through economic empowerment. I am thrilled with this headline, and I wonder what took so long. The past 30 years, I've worked at the nexus of war, economic empowerment, and gender equity. And on this International Women's Day, this is what I know. The world needs peace, and peace needs women. I'll take you a little bit of my journey today. First, we'll walk backward a bit, and then I'll frame my career, a little bit of it for you. And then I'm going to give you 3 words that have meant a lot to me. And I hope that on your journey, working toward equality, that these words will be inspirational for you as well. But first, a walk backward before I bring you forward. Most kids who grow up on farms in small-town Nebraska, like me, don't dream of building a multifaceted career. You don't dream of having decades of work to help women around the world achieve success. But maybe you have something embedded in yourself. I think that the desire to help people, it's embedded in your DNA. And you follow that desire because you can't not follow it. A big piece is not being afraid to put your foot forward. When I was getting started in business in the 70s, I couldn't get a loan, I couldn't get a credit card, I couldn't belong to the Chamber of Commerce. There were a whole list of other couldn'ts for 1970s, all because I'm a woman. And I wondered if I could experience that deep gendered bias in the US, what are women in other countries experiencing? And I wondered, what can I do to help them not go through what I did? And those questions propelled me to over 50 countries to utilize economic development as an essential tool in creating a more equitable life for women. Today, and for nearly 30 years now, my family, my life, my international career has been based from Grand County, Colorado. I'm a committed global gender equity advocate, and you'll hear that thread of equity laced through my words today. Economic development is my equalizing tool. Women's rights are a cornerstone, and safety is sustainable only with secured peace. Recently, I concluded a 2-year assignment in Iraq where I was the chief of party for a United States Agency of International Development project titled Durable Communities and Economic Opportunities. I've worked on USAID projects for almost 30 years, mainly in conflict areas. This current project works with 12 ISIS impact communities to develop locally driven processes for identifying and resolving tensions. We assist emerging leaders to resolve internal tensions and to resolve them sustainably and peacefully through inclusive community dialogue. Then we used tailored technical and economic assistance like skills building, investment mechanisms, and many other types of facilitation for economic growth. While I was in Iraq and in the north in the Kurdistan region, I met a Yazidi woman from a Sinjar district village. That particular village had been leveled by ISIS. And she has lived now in a Dahuk tent camp for the past 8 years. She had a small store, and she was providing everyday essentials that were very hard to find in the camp. And her excitement was palatable. She just drew me and my team into her story. And her greatest desire was to be able to support a bricks and mortar business in Dahuk. And we were able to assist her in establishing that. That's very exciting work. The Yazidi story is so like one of my very first encounters in 1987 in Nepal. Of the 50 countries that I've been privileged to see, it is Nepal that I've returned to most frequently. When I was on this 1987 trek. Um, it was just amazing in terms of beauty, of course. And the path was from Kathmandu to Kanbari to Makalu, and a similar economic story emerged. Different decades, different culture, different caste impacts, different contradictory politics, and yet very much the same story for women. This single woman was running a small enterprise to sell tea, biscuits, and a few other basics to truckers who were passing by. The same story of a woman's heart desire to be self-sufficient and to live with dignity. Someday, on a different day, we'll sit and talk about the 6 Nepali NGOs that my husband and I and a whole host of angels have helped to support these past 30 years. It's a very special story. We call them Tewatis when we get together. Tewa means support in the Nepali language. But it's a different story for a different day. So maybe we'll do a tea this summer. I've been fortunate to meet astonishing people in refugee camps, tiny villages, and, as I mentioned, devastated conflict communities. I've met superstars in fancy hotels, mega mansions, and the golden halls of academia. I've met people from Kathmandu, Kabul, and Kiev, as well as Princeton, Paris, and Stockholm. And they all can appear to be happy. And yet, this is what my experiences have proven to me, that the paraphernalia of a so-called perfect life, money, fame, status, it doesn't make people happy. Only you can do that. No matter what country I work in, no matter whom I'm working with, the end game truly is like a textile, not much different than this one, a rainbow of colors, wherein these individual threads contribute to inclusive, gender, equitable, long-term local stability. Only you can do that. But a root cause is undermining progress, and that root cause is poverty. Poverty is something that we think we understand intuitively, or by reading, or by listening to the news, but we don't. It is only when we experience it and live it firsthand that we grasp what it means to be unequal. Therefore, we must empower women. This action will improve life for everyone. So please ask, how may I serve? To move forward, there are 3 words I'd like to plant in your heart today: passion, purpose, and peace. I know I'm lucky because the tapestry of my life incorporates all 3 elements, and you need to know that I consciously constructed my life that way. It did not magically happen. It was constructed with hopes and visions and dreams and written goals. So let's look at passion. My passion, all of these efforts concentrate on equitable economic growth. The goal is to result in safe, durable, cohesive communities. And it doesn't matter where I am, whether in Colorado or another state or another country, you must find your own passion path. Therein lies a powerful voice. Use that voice, and you will make a difference in our world. We know working to improve an economy and strengthen communities' social fabric will lead to resilience and stability. Equity and economic justice drive my passion. What will drive yours? Purpose. Emily Dickinson said, "If I can stop one heart from breaking, I shall not live in vain. If I can ease one life the aching, or cool one pain, or help one fainting robin unto his nest again, I shall not live in vain." Truly, her words define my purpose: to not live in vain and to ease one heart from aching. This quote I've carried in my passport wallet for over 30 years. Set your purpose. No matter what sex you are, be a feminist. Helen Mirren said, "Be a feminist because it is a necessity to move forward." Hunger to learn and grow, reading, work, and travel, that's what revealed to me the solemn equity issues right here in our own Colorado backyard, and of course spread across our complex world. Entrenched societal gender imbalances alongside implicit bias yield inequity. By accepting challenging international assignments in broken countries, my commitment to diversity and inclusivity clarified. There's space in my soul to absorb others' suffering and then to translate it into pushing forward. How will you define your purpose? And never last is peace. In our fragile world, peace is not automatic. We need to sensitively comprehend that not everyone has access to clean water, clean air, fresh food, comfortable shelter, free education, and certainly not peace. In 2020, NATO published my article where I was adamant that if the agenda for women, peace, and security continues business as usual, then it will remain a dream. I pointed out how badly Afghan peace processes had failed. We can say the same of the Middle East and Ukraine conflicts. On August 15, 2020, Afghans, activists, and I watched the news heartbroken as we saw our 20 years of women's rights work in Afghanistan utterly evaporate overnight. Women had so optimistically hoped that the peace process would provide strategic and political support so women would be among Afghanistan's decision makers. It didn't happen. That bleak August day, Taliban rolled back all women's rights to work, education, healthcare, transportation, and to an equitable life. To quote Dorothy Parker, "What fresh hell can this be?" Peace is not only absence of violence, it is also a just rule of law and equitable economic well-being. How will you protect peace? Now, if you've ever seen one of my videos or heard one of my speeches or attended one of my lectures, you know that I close with a call to action every single time. So let's look at passion, purpose, and peace. These components are partly concept, partly method, partly window of opportunity, partly strategic thought, partly technique, but it is always a matter of resolute human will. So today, barge forward with my call to action on this 2024 International Women's Day. What can you do different or better as an individual to promote equity? What will be your passion and purpose? How will you contribute to peace? The call to action starts with you and your family, and then it expands into our communities. That's the only way we can change the world we inhabit. Remember, this International Women's Day is not about me. It's about we. It's about you. Let's count you in to accelerate gender equity. Start your actions today to build your own joyous and generous recipe for passion, purpose, and consciously constructing peace. Thank you. Happy International Women's Day.